allow the two
It's okay. It's okay. Off your mind. It's okay. Off your mind.
Chai! Now wow, people wey supposed talk truth to power don't off mic. And if we talk, now 500,000 they go summer us call them hate speech. But fear not, Maiyegun don't come. Him go torchlight every corner, nooks and cranny of all these bad people where they spoil our country. So my people make we laugh, oh, yo yo. Maiyegun don't come, oh yo yo. My people make we shout, oh yo yo. Maiyegun don't come, oh yo yo. Maiyegun don't come, man of the masses, oh yo yo. Maiyegun don't come, oh yo yo. Maiyegun diary politico, oh yo yo. Maiyegun don't come, oh yo yo. This one not the off in mind, oh yo yo. Maiyegun don't come, oh yo yo. Can in the touchlight every corner, oh yo yo. Maiyegun don't come, oh yo yo. Okay, some people be they holla say they want the power. Chai, them be promise us say we go get light and power. Nah. Them hustle so they can't get the power. But now they know they do anything with the power. Sure. Every day, dollar just they get the higher power over naira. See them talk say make we off mind. But thank God say Maiyegun don't come. So my people make you laugh, oh yo yo. Maiyegun don't come, oh yo yo. My people make we shout, oh yo yo. Maiyegun don't come, oh yo yo. Maiyegun don't come, man of the masses, oh yo yo. Maiyegun don't come, oh yo yo. Maiyegun diary politico, oh yo yo. Maiyegun don't come, oh yo yo. This one not they off in mind, oh yo yo. Maiyegun don't come, oh yo yo. Person where they do evil, no one make person talk. Them say that Maiyegun, that man too they talk. He too they talk. Say Maiyegun diary, he they hot like pepper. But every day then they take money in bulk. Woman picking they the street they hawk. Still them talk say make we no talk. But thank God say Maiyegun don't come. So my people make you laugh, oh yo yo. Maiyegun don't come, oh yo yo. My people make.
Hello there, good afternoon, good morning, and good evening. Depends on the time you are watching from, wherever you're watching from. Yes, this is Maiyegun Live. Thank you very much for joining me again today. Thank you so much for waiting. And I catch up on some comments, which shows, showed especially Bolanle. My dear sister, I'm very sorry if sometimes I do arrive late, okay? One of the things is that, you see, sometimes I have to take care of certain things in the house as well, just to make sure that I don't get disturbed and then I don't get, in any way get interfered with when I'm doing this. So all these short delays can walk in, and sometimes getting the old setting up as well can be a little bit delayed. And because I don't really plan my broadcast, like, oh, I do this time or that time, no specific time for my broadcast. But those who have been following Maiyegun for a long time, they know that, well, it is likely going to be on Sundays in the morning. If you have missed the morning, you're either going to see the video later. Sometimes I do my live broadcasts, just to react to whatever is happening at that moment, unplanned. And that is why you should indulge me. And thank you for indulging me too. So you shouldn't blame yourself. You shouldn't argue over that. What we are doing is that we are all trying to contribute our own little quota into what we see as injustice in Nigeria. It is injustice that has led to the corruption that you are seeing today. Corruption, injustice, because if there is justice, if you commit a crime against the law, whether you are a public official or you are a private citizen, you should be punished for it. So injustice has led to abuse of power, abuse of this and that. And at the end of the day, many people are now asking, that we should break up Nigeria. Break up Nigeria. If we can't do it together, let's do it differently. So all we are doing, you taking out your time to watch Maiyegun, myself taking out my own time just to try and make some sense. Because sometimes when I even watch my own video, I'm always like, how did you guys actually manage to sit down for 1 hour? It is addictive, isn't it? Because I'm more or less like, it's like if you don't, it's better not to listen to Maiyegun, right? Even if you don't really like most of what I say all the time. There are people who don't really like all I say all the time. But those people love Maiyegun for one thing, is sincerity. Some people don't like my usage of words, you know what I mean? But nevertheless, there is originality, there is sincerity. And I have to say thank you again. So today, we are catching up, and it is going to be today's sermon, you know, our Sunday sermon. Happy Sunday to all of you, every one of you. Okay, and thank you so much for keeping up with what is going on in Nigeria. I know many of my viewers who are contributing to the protests in Nigeria. I mean, on different levels that we can all see, and we are seeing the effect. I know many of my viewers, of my friends, you who have contributed money to support the EndSARS protest in Nigeria, because you know that the EndSARS protest in Nigeria is deeper. You know what I mean now? Is deeper than just to end the police brutality. You know it, right? And what I do on Maiyegun's diary, or what we do here, is to knock on our subconscious minds to make you start thinking things in a different ways that will eventually help you in judging, or you know what I mean, like when you know how to process information, and you can think so smart enough to be, I mean, in order not to be caught unaware, right? That's what we do on Maiyegun's diary. I don't do propaganda, you know that. I'll tell you, if I have to say something, I have something to show to back it up, I will show that to you. If I am trying to make my own personal contribution and opinion on an issue, I will tell you. You know what I mean? And if I have to make a light, you know, a big issue so light to lighten you up, I do that. But the most important thing is that everything we do on Maiyegun's diary, everything is actually everyday conversation of many of you, what you discuss in private. So when you now see someone who seems to be putting the word, like more or less like I'm putting speaking your mind. Do you get that now? Then you get addicted to it, like, wow, I would listen to this guy forever because this is exactly what I'm thinking. This is exactly what I thought. And the fact that we have assembly of many intelligent people like yourself, very supportive and then humane people, right, makes it look so easy to do. So we knock on your, we knock at your subconscious mind, right, to make you reason beyond the conventional ways where we have been trapped in, conventional ways like an Hausa man will never do anything with an Igbo man. There's a trust issue. An Igbo man will be so careful of a Yoruba man, vice versa. And they said, well, that's who we are. Not knowing that there are other ways to us, which I have probably, projected for a very long time. People have said Maiyegun has been one detribalized Nigerian. He accommodates everybody. He speaks about the injustice in the north. He speaks about the injustice in the east. He speaks about the injustice in his own land. And he exposes all the corrupt politicians without identifying them by their tribe or by their religion, because it is all deceit, which sells more within the populace. The lies of, the division, the fault lines, the politicians have been using that, but we've been saying that all these have nothing to do with injustices, the corruption, the inhumane, empathetic nature of your leaders. All these old division, divide and rule, have nothing to do with underdevelopment of Nigeria, because they deliberately made Nigeria and Nigerians poor. It is deliberate. I've spoken on that many times. And today we can witness what is going on. The young people, the lazy Nigerian youth, as the politicians would love to call them, or the generation before them, used to call them, the lazy Nigerian youth. The Nigerian youth who just want to live a fast life. They just want to make money. Nobody is very much telling the truth that much about the criminals who are running a corrupt system that only favors the criminals in power. So the young people are now out. They are doing something, changing the narrative in a way that every person who has one grudge or another with Nigeria is represented, but they use it just one single flash signal. Hashtag EndSARS, but there is more. And I told you, I said, the people you are dealing with, the government of Buhari, is a heartless government built on terror and fear. So they only have power via terror and fear. So what they usually do is that they wield so much influence using fear as a tool. If you talk, then go arrest you or they go kill you, which has possibly even probably transcend from the street language of an ordinary police officer that will tell you that I will kill you and nothing will happen. Same way the government, successive governments in Nigeria, have used the tool of fear. They call it fear mongering. If you do this, you will lose your liberty. If you do that, you are going to be killed. And people were being killed, by the way, in order to justify the fear they spread about. Then they unleash terror. Terror that is monumental. The terror of poverty. The terror of religious divisiveness. The terror of using the tribal fault lines to further, divide the people and stop them from asking the real questions that affects them, their lives, their existence, their safety. People would rather fight because someone abused Muhammad. Someone would rather curse you because you insulted Jesus. But when it comes to why do they not have power? Why do they have this terrible educational system? Why is the healthcare system so bad? The same people suffering from those consequences will find excuses to defend their oppressors differently because they love them differently. Some love their oppressors because they are Christians. Some love their oppressors because they are Muslims. Some love their oppressors because they come from the north. Some adore their own oppressors because they come from the southwest. Some love theirs and they will kill for them because they come from the east. So many people love their own oppressors just because they come from their tribe. It doesn't matter how much abject poverty, how much abject wanton destruction they have brought upon their people. They ended up being adored by a section of that tribe. And this seems to be waning away. This seems to be washing off. All these fault lines that the politicians have been using, successive politicians and so many other organizations in Nigeria, seems to be dying down. The fact that it's dying down means that you are pushing the boundary beyond just EndSARS. Now you are seeing Christians, Muslims, Northerners, Southerners, Yorubas, Igbos, Hausas, everybody coming out to say EndSARS, end this brutality. The northern youths have also come out to say secure north. Hashtag right now that is now grooming and brooming. What do you call it? In the northern part of Nigeria, they may not have told you, okay, but you might have actually heard this somewhere. But now you are confirming it from Maiyegun. There is another uprising in the north right now, okay, that is called hashtag secure north. They want banditry to end. They want Boko Haram to end. They want mass rape of women in the north to stop. They want the end to the drug abuse in the north. They are asking something. Some of you may not know yet, but guess what? all of these agitations, the Biafrans who wants to go, the Oduduwans who wants to go, everybody is using the hashtag EndSARS, End Nigeria, End Police Brutality. You know what I mean? Effect a reform. Now, you know what will change? All of these demands, you have pushed the Buhari's government and his base. You have pushed them to pretend to be doing something. Are you with me? Because that is what is expected of them in their circle, to be seen, to be doing something when they are actually doing nothing. Do you get that? Let's pay money to few people. Let's appoint a judicial panel. Let us make it. Is that not what they want? Okay, we're going to do it. Let us increase the police salary. We are not yet sure of that anyway. But you know what? We will do everything. But they should go away and stop protesting. Because you are pushing them. In 2019, a committee on the Nigerian police, they did an investigation, report and all of that. And they submitted their report to Buhari for police reform, 2018. Up to this day, until 11 days or 12 days ago, when EndSARS protests began. Until then, my brothers and sisters, that report is lying somewhere. Maybe they have even used it to buy, to sell bonds to you, or to sell puff to you, or barley on the by the roadside. They didn't do anything. But in 12 days, they have decided to establish a committee. Even the one, do you know that? Let me say this. Do you know that the Nigerian police is controlled by the Nigerian presidency, by Buhari? All the atrocities of every police officer in any part of Nigeria is on the federal government. But you know what they are now saying is that they want all the 36 states in Nigeria to create judicial panel. All the governors should go and create them. Listen, this is coming from Abuja. They should create them so that everybody who has case against SARS, or who knows that SARS has attacked you or whatever in the past, right, or killed your relative, you can go to those state judicial panel. Yeah, so that is for you to, they in Abuja, they are starting their own panel. It will be led by, it is led by Pastor Ruga Oshunbade, Vice President, will lead that one. So that committee, judicial committee in Abuja, will sit for 6 months. They will sit for 6 months, and they will reform police. So they too, they will submit a report. Listen to this, for some of you who don't know that they are deceiving you when they tell you that, because that's going to be the message. That in the next few days, they are now telling you to stop the protest and go home. The protesters know through this. They know they are lying. They are not going to go home. That is where the military will come in. Now, Oshunbade's committee will sit for 6 months to look into all the cases. Meanwhile, they have also designated the responsibility to 36 states and Abuja 37, so that judicial panel will be everywhere. Even governors who are not really interested in anything SARS, who are currently just being quiet, saying nothing, Abuja is expecting them to set up judicial panel. And since Lagos State has said they have started their own panel, we have not heard of anywhere else they have started any panel. Now they said everybody should go home. Okay, leave that. Because you are pushing too much now. Meanwhile, you have not even started pushing. Okay, they are tired. All right, they are tired. What they want to do now is that they have sat. There was a meeting today for all of you who are watching me right now. Just about an hour ago, there was a meeting. And in that meeting, you know what they discussed? They discussed the 5-point agenda, the 5-point demand of the protesters. 5-point demand, which is in public. They now said, but we have told them now that we have accepted all the conditions. We will sack all the officers, we will prosecute them. But no. That's not what they're asking. They said, all the officers, you should open, start a judicial panel whereby all the victims will be there to present their own case, and their own, the person who committed the crime against them is arrested, and everything should be televised. All of us want to be seeing it at the protest ground. You know, that kind of a thing. Where people are protesting, there will be big board, a big screen, where you will be watching the what do you call it? The prosecution, the trial of the notorious SARS officers who have killed people. But they are not doing that too. So they said, but we have accepted now. We have sacked some officers. We are doing some elderly room trial. What else do they want? Some people must be sponsoring them. We have to start. We have to stop them. Hey. And the reason why they are confused, ladies and gentlemen, is simply because the NSAS protesters, they don't have leaders. Just within 3 days, there are secure not. The secure not protesters, the young northerners who want to end banditry. They want Buhari to end Boko Haram. They want Buhari to end and stop the kidnappers and the kidnappings in their region. Within 3 days, since they identified that they have leaders, giving press conference and all of that, DSS have arrested many of people who identify as secure not leaders in Kano. They arrested them yesterday. So, Laya Muhammad came out and said, listen, guys, we have accepted your demand. Oh, now it's time to stop protesting. Go home. That's it. Okay? Yesterday, one ambassador, Hussaini Komasi, asked the military to stop the protest. 3 days ago, the chief of army staff, Yusuf Buratai the butcher, was at the villa with some other service chiefs to brief Buhari, and they also expressed their displeasure with the protest, and they wanted Buhari to give them order to crush all the protests and take over all the protest ground. They don't have a clue. Let me give them an expo. 3 days ago or 4 days ago, the total numbers of identified spots where protests were taking place in Nigeria were 90 protest spots. Today, as I am talking to you right now, they now have over 198 identified protest ground in Nigeria. In 4 days, it grew by over 110%. So, if Buratai, who was at the villa, to ask for permission to use military to crush the protest, if he was planning to take over Lagos, take over Abuja, does he actually know that even in Lagos alone, he will have to take over 40 spots? 40. Their soldiers will have to go to different 40 locations, and they have to send their 40 battalion. If they go to Port Harcourt, they will need at least to get their soldiers to about 80 spots in Port Harcourt and in Ibadan. Let's pick them one by one. At the end of the day, by the time their soldiers are ready, the ones that are supposed to be fighting Boko Haram, to start fighting the bandits, to stop fighting and stopping the Fulani terrorists, they want to crush protesters. They said Buratai left in anger when the chief of staff to Buhari, that is Gambari, the old man that replaced Abba Kyari, that one said, no, this don't turn global. This don't change color. No, will take time more. Let's continue to do what they demand, so that if they see us doing it, we can then appeal to them, and we continue to look for their leaders. They have been unable to arrest one single person as a leader of NSAS protest in Nigeria. And it's beginning to make sense to me too. When the young people who genuinely, I'm talking about genuine ones now, who genuinely told Showore not to flash revolution now at their protest, not to appear at their protest, because they know the government will tag anything at the protesters to crush them. And they can easily get away with it if they don't publicly say, no, we don't want to do it, because they know what they want. They know the whole thing is going to lead to revolution. The revolution has already started. So many people are just not yet accepting it as a revolution. You get that now? So it's beginning to make sense to me. Not for those who really targeted Showore. I'm not talking about the Buhari Danes, Buhari Dideris, the articulators, the articulated morons, those ones who are like, who love their own oppressors separately, and they are still raving from the 2015 election. So I'm not talking about them. I am talking about the genuine men and women, young boys and girls who are out there who said Showore should stay away. They were ready to deal with this government, and they are ready to go as far as it will take them, and they don't want any coloration. It makes sense now. You know what? They have not arrested a single person as a leader of NSAS. As much as every demand they are demanding, the old politicians, their what do you call it, their elite circle, they are running helter-skelter, trying to find a solution. They have not been able to arrest a single leader of NSAS. And that is where the protest has now become so real, so genuine, because it represents your disappointment, it represents your anger, it represents your own, great, anger, I would say, towards Nigeria. What Nigeria has done to you, what Nigeria did to your forebearers, what Nigeria did to your forefathers, right? The anger, the rage. NSAS protest represents it. You just need to see through it. Do you get that now? You just need to see through it. So, Buratai couldn't get the approval to use soldiers. But he's getting... meanwhile, when they couldn't get that, they managed to try to make a declaration within Abuja alone. The declaration that is completely illegal. They have no legal right to ban protest. The only person who have the right to ban protest or declare a protest, whatever it is the president. But there is no law that gave him that power. So the Minister of Federal Capital Territory, after meeting with Buratai and his men, decided to declare ban on protests in Abuja. But the protesters defied him. The protest continued. So when that didn't work, Kumasi came out yesterday to say, if they are not going to do anything to stop the protest, if they are not going to use strong arm, if they are not going to use the soldiers, if they are not going to crush the protest, the Buhari Dins and the Buhari Dideris, the Buhari Dinotus and the Buhari Dijatus, the Buhari Shukus and the Ungoziaris, the obedient fools, the sophisticated morons, and the humbled slaves of this world, they would eat the street and they will crush the protest, create anarchy. The protest is peaceful protest, for goodness sake. We have seen the protesters so organized, so orderly, no fighting, until these miscreants decided to take over and attack them, to stop them from exercising their own, God-given right. It is their God-given right. Even in that trash paper called the Constitution in Nigeria, that trashy paper even gave them the right. Why would anybody say you shouldn't exercise that right when you are actually suffering from the same rotten system? So they decided to create anarchy. That was the threat yesterday. My brothers and sisters, a lot has happened. A lot has happened after that last night. Brethren, sit back, relax, as I take you through a few of the events and development that is about to shape and change, that is about to reshape and change the NSAS protest in Nigeria to either Buhari must go or end Nigeria. Either of these two will become your hashtag in the next few days for the following reasons. The president won't speak to you. No, he's not going to talk to you. Okay? If they release any video any moment from now from Buhari is going to tell you to go home. And you know why? They have finally concluded that something needs to be done. They need to stop the protest. And the only way they can do, since they cannot bribe the organizers, since they cannot reach them, since they cannot really make them compromise, they need to come for you. So they will release a video today or latest tomorrow. That video is going to be like a declaration from Buhari. It's going to tell you to go home. And if you don't go home, it's going to say the security officials should disperse this crowd. That is going to be the changing game, the game changer. See me smiling. See me smiling. I have told you that Buhari came to divide Nigeria. But many of you who couldn't really digest that information probably faulted me. Nigeria has never been this divided. We have been pretending for years to be one country, even though we were not. But for the first time in a long time, in the last 5 years, it has become so obvious that Nigerians are absolutely so divided under this government. And they were using that division, right, to further entrench their impunity-infested regime. Nobody could come together to question them. If anybody speaks, they will say, oh, you are speaking because you are Igbo. It's because you hate him. If anyone speaks against the government from anywhere, they will say, oh, are you trying to be like the Yorubas? Are you not supposed to support your president? He's from the north. Oh, you hate him because he's a Muslim. Oh, you don't like him because it's this and that. So they were using that for the past 5 years. So I said, if nothing is done, if Nigeria continues that way, Buhari is just doing the Lord's work. That is, to fulfill the scriptures, to fulfill the prophecy, and make it come to pass, because every action of his government is teetering Nigeria to further division and division and division until people are beginning boldly and ready to die. They were even dying to go and leave the country. We will not be here. You have seen the impunity. You have seen the way they have handled the Fulani herdsmen incursion and invasion into so many regions in Nigeria. You have seen the killings. You have seen the wanton destructions. And you have not seen a single bandit tried or jailed. You have not seen a single terrorist charged or jailed under this government in 5 years. But you have seen bodies. You have seen, you have seen increased IDP camps where Nigerians are living as refugees in their own country, but their government is telling them that there is no war. That those who are asking the government to do the right thing, they are those asking for war, and they are the enemies of Nigeria. People are dying. Nigerians are living as refugees in their own country, and right before your eyes, right before every one of you, the same government decided to give amnesty to terrorists. So people decided that this is never going to continue. No way. And in order to appease terrorists, you saw your government asking states, asking everybody to give land to the killers that they once told you were from Niger, from Mali, from Chad, from Libya, and from all those North African countries because of the death of Gaddafi. You remember, they said those who were committing this crime are not Nigerians. God damn it. They are from outside Nigeria. And the same government came out again to say, we need to give them land in order for us to have peace. God damn it. In the same Nigeria. So every of their action was pointing to a divided and breakup of a country. And it was like all hope was lost. Yes, like we've lost all hope. The best way to save lives is to break up that country. And Buhari was doing that well. Until the NSAS protest came. Shook Nigeria to foundation. Still shaking Nigeria right now because it is about to take a new dimension. And it is not because the protesters are violent. It's not because the protesters are, in any way, disruptive. No. It is because the government has no plan to effect any reform. And they are now believing that it seems the youth the young people in that country are already taking over their power. They forgot that they derived that power to call them senator, to call them president, to call them this, to call them that. They derived that power from you, even if they bought or stole them from you. But it is still yours. Do you get that now? So they are now feeling like you are using your power to make them do the right thing. And that is like you are bullying them to do the right thing. They want to bully back. That is what we escalate it. That is where the problem is. That is where things will change. And that is where I'm taking you to now. Let me open your mind. Together, we will walk through this, okay? And remember, I will share with you content to back up a few points. I will have my own opinion about things. And I will leave you to your own conscience to process the whole information you are going to hear on this program today. And whatever you make of it, brethren, it is your own business. And I hope you make a good of it. So that, because it's becoming all of our businesses now, it's becoming our business too. So let us get started. When a lot happened, they have sat and they said, no, everybody should go home. But I will start this visual presentation with an audio that is so vital and it is so refreshing that you will know why. That when we told you 5 years ago that this is a one-chance boss and it's going nowhere, it's going into the ditch. If you have a life insurance, please make sure you renew it. The next 4 years we told you. But Amici, who happened to be a closer person to the president before 2019 election, shared something. I shared that with you last night. I'm going to start with it. Then after that, I'm going to take you to Winners Chapel. Bishop Oyedepo finally, gave a very resounding support to end SARS in Nigeria. And at the same time, you won't believe it, today, across the country, across all the protest ground in the country, people actually held Sunday service. Some of you attended, did you? Some of you attended online. There were Sunday services across, the country today at the protest grounds. So Pastor Oyedepo from his church gave his support. I'm going to show you, even Pastor E.A. Adeboye, I forgot his son's name, his son, that controversial guy. Yeah, he was at Alausa this morning to perform the Sunday service for the protesters, and it was awesome. For those of you who have seen that, okay? So today as well, we will go to Abuja. Few things happening in Abuja. The attack is going on. The meeting that they said they had with the president and all of that stuff. I'm going to take you through a lot. So you can refill the cup now. Yeah, you can go and refill the cup. Okay. So by the time you come back, or you can pass it on and say, let someone refill your cup for you. So we are just about to begin the interesting part of this conversation this morning, or this afternoon rather. So let us start with a message. This first one, which I said I'm going to play, was going to be the voice of Amechi, telling everybody about Buhari and the type of Buhari and the type of country you are still going to have if Buhari gets second time. He got it, he stole it, and you are now having it. So listen to this.
These are not things you publish. If you publish it, you will never see it any day. 3 years of Buhari. Everybody's dying, crying. Presidents are crying, farmers are crying, workers are crying, politicians are crying, students are crying. 3 years old. But rate of poverty is very high. People are hungry. Nigeria will never change. So
they should let the gossip with us because you chose to do that with us, and we appreciate it.
The next university will be my village. University of Transportation too. Why are you laughing now? All of you are graduates of one another. There's a common saying that when we are small, charity begins where? My own begin abroad. The president is not listening to anybody. He doesn't care. He can write anything he wants to write. The president doesn't care. Does he read? He will read, he will laugh. He say, come and see, they are abusing me here. In fact, there was one case of somebody in Onitsha, a trader who couldn't sell his goats during Salah. And I was with a guy in the plane. And the man was busy abusing Buhari because of Buhari, nobody buying this. He said, come, I mean, what's my business with Onitsha goat seller? This country will change. This country is going nowhere. Nothing. You know, even if you divide the country to 10, it will still not change. No, I'm not joking. When Magnus was my SSG, I told him this country is hopeless and helpless. So that's stop it now. Coming from the governor, nobody, don't be saying that. 2 months in Abuja, so this country is hopeless and helpless. I said, why? He said, you're right. The only thing they do in Abuja is share money. They don't work.
That's a clip from Sahara Reporters there. So I remember sharing that with many of you on Facebook when it was out in 2018 before the election. So eventually people didn't listen, and they went on to say next level or next devil. So now let us take this message, a very important message from Force. Force is one of those who eventually beat the fear, okay, pull courage and said, let us go on the street. And because of that, he has this message again. After all the drama yesterday, Force said, guys, listen.
They are trying their best. They are trying to divide us, but it's not possible. You know, the possible. We are united. I have never seen us as united as this, and we have to stay this way. I want us to have one voice. Okay, may we focus on our 5-point agenda. Should we say presidency don't accept our 5-point agenda? Oh yeah, now let's focus on that. How many boxes have you ticked? How many boxes have you ticked? You can't define them. Who will be the leader? Who will film it with? We no get leader. We no get leader. You know what to do. If you want us off the streets, you know what to do. We no get leader. Matter many. I see many demands. Many people they talk. Don't worry. In fact, I'm more angry than you. I know say matter many, but we will first face this one. Make sure they tick all 5 boxes. They don't leave anyone before we can say, okay, what will be the next matter? Share the National Assembly. Oh yeah, now let's go. We are ready. We are awake. We are wide awake now. But very important, we have to stay together. We have to stay united in one voice. I love you guys.
We love you too, Force. Thank you very much. So did you get that message? It's as simple as that. They are doing a lot. They are trying. But now they are planning to use the military to attack protesters. Okay? Before I take you back to Abuja, I want to share a story with you. For some of you who may not really understand so well the horror committed by the rotten system in Nigeria through the police and many others, right? This story of this man may actually bring you to tears. So grab a tissue. Let's listen.
Riding tricycle motor known as Keke Marwa to Ijeku bus stop. On getting to Ijeku bus stop, I saw some group of policemen at the checkpoint. So as soon as I got to Ijeku bus stop, one of them brought out a gun to stop me. I now stopped. I came out with my wife to ask the policeman what happened. One of them said he doesn't want to hear any story. That's the one that carried gun, that I should give him 2,000 naira. I said, we are coming from church. I'm not a commercial vehicle. We are going home with my family, my wife, my 4 children. We went for a prayer program, and we're coming from there. That is at the hour of 9 and 10. I said, I don't have any money with me. We are going home. I'm going home with my family, my wife. So one of them now asked us to go. So as soon as me and my wife entered the Keke tricycle, about to start the engine, I now had a gunshot twice. So I thought that I was the only one the bullet made. Bullet now cut my right arm and pieces my lower jaw here. Then I now came down holding my jaw with the blood gushing out. That was when I heard my children shouting, "Mom is dying, Mom is dying." And as soon as I heard that, I now went back to inside the keke. I saw my wife, my baby falling down. And when I heard my wife, I discovered that the bullet pierced my wife from the right side of the brain and came out to the left side of the brain. So my wife died instantly. So I have my family, my 4 children. Then me here, I was in Lut where I was doing operation. Then that's the incident that happened. This is the woman, Dr. Joke Edumakin, that handled my case. And the brother standing is my brother that been following me anywhere I go.
Why are you here today? What is the reason that brought you here?
The reason why I'm here today.
Right. So he was at the church, synagogue church, to tell his story. That is horrible stories that you hear from everyone who has encountered SARS. Those who were never lucky. No one is lucky. Even if you stay alive, there are those who lost their limbs, who lost arm, who lost, lost a lot. And there are those who are actually like, they still suffer the PTSD today because of their experiences with Nigerian policemen. They never got justice. They were silenced. So people have been living under a bottled up frustration. You know what I mean now? Bottled up. NSAS is just like a liberation to their soul. Something that will make them pour out their mind. And guess what? All these stories, you cannot even be so heartless, or cold-hearted and not feel moved if you listen to them. Okay? And Buhari probably never listened to those stories. So from the pulpit today, Bishop Oyedepo had this to say. He said a lot, but this is the short one I'm going to share with you because it is powerful. You should take a listen.
We have been having spate of protests across the nation. Amen. Every man has a right, legitimately so, to express their displeasure and pains. Everybody has it. Amen. I kept quiet for a while because, listen to me. Amen. In 2015, I warned this nation vehemently, consistently, because I saw the dangers ahead. And you can tell. The most gruesome season in the history of this nation is the last 5 years, where lives have no value. Wanton killings here and there. Now they have faced the youth. And because they don't know who is next, they have a right to say no. Amen. Enough is enough. Any system that has no value for human lives is irrelevant. If they were killed when they were youth, would they be where they are today?
That's the big question. If they were killed when they were youth, would they be governors? Would they be president? Would they be vice president? Would they become senators or House of Rep members or any important position they may be holding today? Would they? Of course not. They have killed the best senators. Probably they have killed all your best senators, killed your best governors, killed your best president, killed the individuals that could have probably lifted Nigeria out of the woods. Long time ago, the system killed them. And then the system groomed vampires, blood suckers. That is why they killed a young man in the Kano. 2 people were killed yesterday in Osogbo when the convoy of the governor opened fire on protesters Mutiu Latif was one of them. Mutiu Latif was laid to rest this morning. He was killed. He was a young man, full of life, among other people they've killed. Now, the total number of people killed in Nigerian protests, day 12, has now climaxed to 15. They killed 2 in Osogbo yesterday. They killed 1 in Benin yesterday. And those are the people, those are the ones verified so far. 15 people, 15 young Nigerians were killed. Mutiu Latif was buried this morning. Let me show you a bit of a clip of his burial, just for the sake of this chat this afternoon. Another young man killed by the police. The protest is about stop police brutality, but the police are still killing. He was buried, and that's why I'm going to share this when they took him in. Just a sec. Yeah, he was buried yesterday. The other video I'm about to share with you, even before I get to that, I think I should tell you why they are going to deploy the military in the next few hours. I don't know if they have done it already. I'm going to go on Twitter before we leave this conversation today to know if they have declared them. But this is the reason why. Buhari is not going to address you. Buhari met with the Senate President, as well as Gbajabiamila, Mila, the House of Speaker, the Speaker of House of Representatives. So they met with Buhari this morning. And when they came out, the verdict was, let me say the verdict is that everybody should go home. The protest should end now because the government has agreed to do whatever you want them to do. We will do it. We go do them, which the protester says, no, you have to tick all the boxes. However, the 2 rubber stamps who now came out to speak to the press are just the Gbajabiamila and what's that one's name? Your Senate President, Lawan. So Buhari didn't come out to address Nigerians. No one came out to address Nigerians other than the puppets. The puppets who are the rubber stamp National Assembly, which are actually also, they are going to be scrapped by the time this dust finally settles. So they don't have any plan to do whatever you are asking them to do, the protesters. They don't have any plan. So they come with this appeal, give us time, give us time. And the protester says no. But I think you should listen to Lawan from him directly before we continue.
So very critical at this point to mention this. Since the protests have taken place and the issues have been accepted, the time has come for the protests to stop. Because government needs to have sufficient time, a clement environment to implement the demands of the protesters. We also need to have our economy to continue to go on. When you try to stop everybody from engaging in their lawful businesses, closing roads to markets and other economic places, we distract the economy of the country, and that is not the best way to go. If the issues had not been accepted, then there would have been genuine reasons to continue with demonstrations and protests. But since the issues have been accepted, we should give government time to implement the issues. And therefore, I'm taking this opportunity to appeal to our youth who are protesting that the protests have already yielded the desired results. First of all, they say end SARS. That was the beginning. SARS was ended not by the IGP. SARS was ended by the president himself. The president, President Muhammadu Buhari, made a statement, a presidential statement, and that would be the first time that any president will say end SARS. And SARS has ended. The other issues followed. The other issues have been addressed, and that's why we are here. So I believe that the time has come for this protest to come to an end, to allow government to address the issues in a very short time. I also believe that other Nigerians have legitimate rights to go on their lawful businesses without let or hindrance. And we cannot have that when the roads are blocked. So we don't want a situation where there will be a degeneration of law and order because somebody is blocked and he feels he must have his way. So we believe that withdrawing from this process at this moment is the right thing to do. Meanwhile, give us the opportunity to deal with matters that we have, as a government, agreed to handle.
Shut up. Shut up. A rubber stamp is talking. You would think, you normally in a better country, yeah, if you wouldn't expect the what do you call it, the Senate president or the speaker, okay, to go into the White House to go and discuss protests with Trump. If they have any question for him, they will tell Trump to come to the National Assembly. They will tell Trump to come to the Congress and address Nigerian people. If he cannot address them on the television, he should come to the National Assembly and tell them what he is doing to stop the protest. But you see the paddy way of keeping the mannequin away. They know the mannequin cannot answer any question. You remember what it was during the protest? I mean, during the campaign, during the debate. It could not even answer any question, straightforward answer. It was lost. He wasn't even so sure if he was in at any debate or if he was somewhere they are doing prayers for him. It was completely lost. So they are keeping the mannequin away in order for them to say, respect your elders. They are appealing. Give us time. Give us time. What happens if Buhari is invited to the National Assembly to stand up and face the Congress and tell them what they are doing instead of them going into his bedroom, waking him up from his bedroom to say, Baba, we just come and check you about this protest? Or what were they discussing initially? I mean, in particular, that people should just relax. You know, Baba is old. You know, Baba is tired. You know, Baba has dementia. You know, Baba no get brain. So we'll give him time until the whole thing. Once we spark the pack and spark the wire, maybe we'll understand what to do. At least he said they should end it anyway, and all those blah, 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 blah. What happened to your president coming out to address you, answer questions, and give you hope? For 5 years, you've not had any president. 5 solid years. How did you manage to cope? It's because the older generation who are beneficiaries of your mic. They are those who endured. They kept sealed lips. They said, give them time. Everything take time. Mad people. 12 days. Young people. They organized protest. And in this protest, they have a legal team that is within an hour or two. If you are arrested for protest anywhere, lawyers will be at the police station. They will be looking for you. If you are injured for any reason, ambulance will be there within few minutes. You will get ambulance that will treat you free of charge. If you are hungry, there's food there. If you want medical attention to check your BP, everything free of charge. They are dispensing support to people who lost family members. Something that should have been a state-sponsored program in the first place. But it's a lie. 12 days, young people did that. 5 years. These mumus are asking for time because they have nothing to do. And if you give them that time, you are on your own. But I don't see that happening yet. So let's go to Abuja. But before we go to Abuja, I'm going to quickly stop by in Anambra, I believe. Okay. But this is the what happened yesterday about end process. Let's take a walk.
Don't forget why we are marching. This is a peaceful protest.
So beautiful. So that was Anambra with final yesterday and others too. It was massive. So the same thing they are asking, end SARS, end it. We are peaceful. We don't want anything. But I love this most. This one is interesting. Listen. Meanwhile, yeah, BG, Thank you very much for that, your super sticker. Thank you very much. So appreciated. And God bless you. And happy Sunday. That's from the streets. Yes, sorry about the picture. It's not so clear, but you could hear them very loud and clear. Thank you so much for that. So, yeah, let's go to Abuja. A quick stop. Okay. I hope I grab the, when I play this, just listen to their message, what they are sending out. They are now asking the police IG to resign. You know what is going to happen? After today's meeting, when they are sending the soldiers out, there is likely going to be an announcement that the police IG of Nigeria has been sacked as part of ways to try and make it up to the protesters. That is, if they hold using their soldiers tonight, tomorrow, or Tuesday, if they can hold using their soldiers for 3 days, they are likely going to sack the IG before the end of the week. But if they continue to use their soldiers from tonight and tomorrow, that will escalate it, change the whole narrative again. The IG will be safe. So what would then happen is that Buhari will go, IG will go, Buratai will go, Nigerian soldiers will be purged. You know what I mean? Of those foreign elements who have taken over Nigerian army. So the Nigerian army, the genuine soldiers who are also waiting. You know one thing, let me tell you this, you may not have been told. There are those who are in Nigerian army right now, who are soldiers, Air Force and all of them. They love what is going on. They are waiting for the Nigerian army to start using the army to attack oppressors. They will be shocked that there will be so many Nigerian soldiers that are going to join the protesters and they are going to defend the protesters. That is when Buratai will go. That's when Buhari will go. That is where the entire criminal structures they are put together in 5 years will end. And the entire 60 years lies that they have put together for Nigeria will also end. That is the future now. I'm taking you to the future. Okay? So let me give you a recap. They have decided to use the soldiers to stop the protest. There is no two way about it, okay? All from every corner now, they seem to be having a united, decision on that, united voice. And that voice is that they should use the soldiers. So they will pretend to be appealing now. So if they are going to hold on from deploying the soldiers, between now and Tuesday, they will likely sack the IG as another sacrificial lamb to try to appease people. But it won't work. But I don't see them wait until Tuesday before you begin to see the report of soldiers on the street. You can take my word for it, okay? I don't see them wait that long. They feel like it should have been done 10 days ago. The second day that the people have started complaining or protesting, they should have stopped them right there. So right now, waiting for another day is like giving the protest more energy. But they lied. The real energy to the protest that will change the whole narrative and people will begin to speak their mind. The northern youth will begin to ask Buhari to go. They will begin to, you see, a lot is going to happen in this week. This week we won't enter now. A lot will happen. You cannot afford to miss any of that. May God at least protect the lives of the young and the old that are going to be out there because they are going to run mad. But let's go to Abuja. Let me see if this is the right one.
What are we demanding? What are we demanding? What are we demanding? What are we saying? What are we saying? What are we saying? What are we we demanding? What are we demanding? What are we demanding? What are we demanding? What are we saying? What are we saying? What are we saying? What are we saying?
Can you see the big banner there? The big banner that you saw there is, printed on that were are the faces of the victims of SARS. Those are the people that the banner can still contain. The list is endless, and you will be shocked at the horrible, sad, gory stories that people actually endured for years. I haven't shared my own story with SARS with you, but I'm going to share it one day because you should know. I have also been a victim of SARS in faraway Akwa Ibom. They call it Eket. It's a long story. I saw through how criminal policemen work with fraudsters, and they also work with herbalists, right? It's a long story. I'll share that with you someday. So the story is endless, and the reason why people cannot just go home is so obvious too, right? Watch
you
this.
have blessed us with human resources and natural resources. And this is not where we should be as a country. But due to bad leadership, corruption, insensitivity, we have found ourselves in this state of distress. But the youths have gathered to say, enough is enough. We pray, oh Lord, that you work with them in this struggle in the name of Jesus Christ. They have left home and everything to come here, and they are in other places. May the sacrifice they are making never be in vain in the name of Jesus Christ. We present our leaders in this country before you. Lord, speak into their lives. Make them sensitive to the plight of the people. Touch them in a special way and lead them to conversion. Lord in heaven, help them to do away with corruption and begin to think in terms of how to make this country great. We pray, oh Lord.
So that's a Catholic priest at Lekki Toll Gate in Lagos this morning, where they aired their own Sunday service. So people not everyone had the chance of going to church. And for those who went to church, they were able to pray. And those who were at the protest ground, even, you see what I'm talking about? Religion can't divide or break anyone. Last Friday, the protesters in Lagos, in Abuja, and so many other places who were Muslims, those who were Christians formed a circle, they form a ring around them, and they watch them pray, Jumat prayer, a massive Jumat prayer session. They didn't leave there and say, I need to rush, because they know that without faith in God and your religion, you see that your church building is just an empty house. It is just an empty, quiet house. It is that your faith that you used to go there to congregate every Sunday, or every time you do your congregation, or you go to the mosque to pray and join other people to pray as a congregation, is just because of your faith. If you are not there, Bible says, wherever two or more of you are gathered, I am with you. Is that not what the Bible said? So religion couldn't break the protest. Bribery couldn't break the protest. Blackmail couldn't break the protest. Intimidation couldn't break the protest. Attack by police on the killings on the protesters couldn't break the protest. Sponsoring thugs to attack the protesters couldn't break the protest. What will break the protest? Nothing. It means that the system will break, not the protest. All the fault lines they normally use to break people, to divide you, to speak lies into your lives, into your mind, to make you hate your own fellow brother who is actually suffering the same thing you are suffering. Only if you choose to look critically, you will realize that you are suffering the same thing, as long as you call yourself Nigerian. But the religion couldn't break people. Well, it wasn't just in Lagos. I'll show you how they worshipped in Abuja today. Even though very soon soldiers will be out trying to attack the protesters, they also held their own praise and worship on the street. And I can tell you, God heard them loud and clear. Watch.
Man.
Forever.
Yes.
In the days of his mercy,
Hey.
his glory will come. Power will remain manifest.
Yes.
And in the days of his powers, he said, our people will be willing.
Amen.
That is now. Yes. That time that the people will be willing is now.
Yes.
We have been on our knees for a very long time in the past. But today, the Spirit has come upon all flesh. The Spirit is upon you. Yes! So that we can bring a good future. In humility to that, we want to cry to God for all the blood that has been wasted in this land, Nigeria. For all the people that have been killed unjustly. For all the people that have been unjustly condemned. I want us to bow our heads in prayer and begin to cry to God for mercy. I want you to cry to God for mercy. For he said his mercy is everlasting. In the name of Jesus.
Amen.
Amen. Amen. You see, they are resolute. They are determined. The Nigerian power bloc, they have no idea what is driving them. But I have an idea what is driving them. It is the wounded hearts that have been silenced for a very long time. Bottled frustration, disappointment that they couldn't share because they were told never to. They have the opportunity. That is the driving spirit. Now, they are threatening and intimidating them that the soldiers will do this. What are you going to do to them? Arrest them? Of course, you have been kidnapping and extorting them in the name of arrest for years. Oh, kill them? Well, you have been extrajudiciously killing them for years, and they have never, ever had any justice served. What are you going to do anew that you have never done? It's just that when you do it this time, it's going to be the last time. So think about it before you go ahead with that. I have a video from after the conversation and the protest in Canada yesterday, for days now. We eventually captured, I think this is the ambassador, Nigerian ambassador, or someone who represents the ambassador of Nigeria to Canada. He had this to say to the protesters in Canada.
You now came to the residence, and I'm indisposed. So there was no way in the shape I was in then that I was going to come and step out and talk to you. God has helped me. I'm feeling better now. So I showed up today, and I was out here within minutes.
Are you saying you run a system whereby when you're in this post, there's nobody
that can speak on your behalf?
For you? That was Ismaila. Not Ismaila. Is he your deputy? Is he your deputy?
Chancellor spoke to you.
Is Ismaila your deputy?
The next most senior person.
Who is the deputy?
The next most senior person.
Yes.
To speak to you.
Who?
I spoke to you yesterday.
Who?
Azubi came.
Minister. Did he speak to us on Monday?
He spoke
He
to us
spoke
on
to us
Monday.
I don't understand. He said he was in Montreal, but then he also said he was here. And he called himself a guys, let's leave
So what happened was that on Monday, that was last week, when this whole protest was taking shape and form, Nigerians in Canada, in Toronto, Montreal, and other places converged to meet with the Nigerian ambassador or go to the Nigerian embassy. That's what happened. So they went there. They were, instead of them to be addressed, they called police on them. So eventually police saw them and, realized that they were actually Nigerians protesting and they wanted to speak to the ambassadors, but they couldn't. So they left. And the drama continued until yesterday when he eventually came out to say, well, he was sorry, he had the COVID, blah, 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 blah. You heard him. So that's to tell you that the rage, the anger, the support, the solidarity is coming all over the world, and it is not abating. Watch this video.
Nigeria, with another rally underway this afternoon downtown Toronto. For more on this, we'll go live to CP24's Brandon Gonez. So, Brandon, what's happening there?
Yeah, thanks so much, Chanel. This is one of many protests taking place, not just in Toronto, but across cities across Canada. And really, it's people who come from the Nigerian background who are protesting an end to police brutality, something they say has taken place far too long in Nigeria. I want to show you a live shot right now of the protesters. Moments ago, they were playing the Nigerian national anthem, and on the speakerphone, they were calling for solidarity, and that's something that has been witnessed in cities across the world. You know, protests erupted last week after a video circulated online showing a man being beaten up by police from the task force called SARS. That task force is a special anti-robbery squad. Now, that unit has killed and tortured many Nigerians, according to human rights groups. And since the protests began more than a week ago, at least 10 people have been killed and hundreds injured, according to Amnesty International, which accuses the police of using excessive force against demonstrators. Now, in response to the widespread demonstrations by young Nigerians, which have really cultivated this movement by using social media to get the word out, not just in Nigeria, but right around the world, the government...
Thank you very much. So that is the NSAS campaign or protest being streamed on the on Canada's national television. Okay, that's Toronto, where the protest was taking place yesterday. All right, so solidarity is coming from everywhere. Money has been raised to support the protesters in Nigeria, and they are doing a great job. Okay, so we hope that they will not be attacked or be killed by the Nigerian soldiers. So thank you so much, everyone, for your time this evening. This afternoon. What I'm going to give you now is a comic relief, but it is not really funny. It is just to give you the picture of how Nigeria, how disorganized of a country Nigeria is truly is. This happened in Benin, right? They said they are fighting over land, and because a man doesn't want them to take over his land, he decided to buy a scrap plane, then transported it on a trailer, right, to the land to dump the airplane, the scrap or scrappy airplane on his land, right? Watch this.
Jesus. Okay, get strength. They as in there, they get strength. Plane.
This one not a private jet, man. This one not a full plane.
Not full plane. See.
This one will carry reach 200 people.
Jesus Christ.
This one with private jet.
Jesus. Look at. Plane. Are you seeing this? Are you seeing
Only in Nigeria, my brother.
Only like.
Well, you know, I'm gonna catch up with you later tonight as well. Yeah. So for those of you who tuned in today and then joined me for the past hour, thank you so much. And to every one of you who also dropped your super sticker chat or super chat stickers, whatever, I keep mixing them up. Thank you for every penny you send across, for every love you send across, and for every like you drop on the chat, and for every share that you also did. I am so grateful. The message will be out there. You can see now that Facebook can't really stop us. We are doing well on YouTube. So Maiyegun's Diary will be back in another 1 week max. So when I'm back on Facebook, you will get to probably catch up for those who are from Facebook joining me today. But however, I feel much comfortable here, by the way. You know what I mean? I actually can sleep at night so well, not worrying that some paid miscreants, some Facebook adsmen, social media bandits have not reported Maiyegun. Every time I go to bed, for every controversial post I put up on Maiyegun's Diary Political, yeah, I go to bed, waking up the following day expecting that probably they've actually shut the page. Because the level at which people report Maiyegun's Diary, Baba, you would think, say, na me or that page is the reason why Nigeria is yet, is the reason why Nigeria is going to break up. They report everything I shared there. Or YouTube, I feel much comfortable here. I feel like I'm actually talking to you on the TV. It's going to get better. Just be on the lookout. Thank you so much for your support and for every one of you who is also a member of, who has joined Maiyegun's Diary membership as, team. And to all those of you who are watching me for the first time, please do one thing, right? Before you leave, under this video, click that subscription button. Click on it, right? You won't miss anything. I'm going to be back later tonight from 9 p.m. Nigeria and UK time. See you then. Good afternoon.
Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Maiyegun ti dé. Maiyegun ti dé. Ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Maiyegun ti dé. Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Maiyegun ti dé. Lórí Facebook. Maiyegun ti dé. Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Maiyegun ti dé. Lórí YouTube. Maiyegun ti dé. Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Maiyegun ti dé. Bọ́ bàbá gbé wúrẹ́. Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Maiyegun ti dé. Ijó ìgbádìyẹ. Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Maiyegun ti dé. Pẹ̀sìdó bá rúfin o. Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Maiyegun ti dé. Kí gómìnà kówó jẹ. Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Maiyegun ti dé. Ọlọ́pàá tí ń darí bá. Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Maiyegun ti dé. Aṣòfin tí ń rúfin o. Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Maiyegun ti dé. Òpùrọ́ olóṣèlú. Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Maiyegun ti dé. Ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Maiyegun ti dé. Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Maiyegun ti dé. Maiyegun ti dé. Gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Maiyegun ti dé. Gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Ṣùgbọ́n ní bá ti ṣe èyí tó yẹ kí wọ́n ṣe, ọmọ bá dèrò ní fi wọ́n níran o. Maiyegun ti dé. Gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Maiyegun ti dé. Gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Ṣùgbọ́n ní bá ti ṣe èyí tó yẹ kí wọ́n ṣe, ọmọ